some good news. We just got our pre-production copies of the Silver River from the factory. So this is the box right here. Now I've actually got two boxes, one over there and one here. So one is the base game and the other has the deluxe components in it. So there are a couple things that are not included. The insert hasn't been finalized, so we're not going to see that, which is okay. And they don't have all of the colored plastic fleet and trade station tokens, they said. Just for size, it's a very large box. Now this is not final, this is a pre-production mock-up. So you'll see a line here where they've kind of put the cover together. You know, clearly that's going to be one piece in the final game. But just as a size comparison, I have a game everybody's familiar with probably as gamers is Battlestar Galactica. So you can see it's a little bit bigger size-wise than Battlestar Galactica, and it's much deeper as well than that game. So that just gives you an idea of how big the box is. And it's pretty significant. But let's go. I'll open it up. I'm very excited, as much as you are, to see what the game looks like. So first, the shot of the box here. Love the artwork. I think it looks really good. The side has just the name of the game in a star field on each side. Right? And then we have the back. So the back has some of the artwork. So we're gonna open this baby up and look inside. Here's the box top. The rule book. So nice big rule book. I'm very excited to see this and have all the rules in one nice rule book. Now this again isn't final paper, but there's the back. So to play the Silver River, you can just literally go, you can do the setup, you can go to the back page, this quick reference guide, and it will walk you through an age. So I highly recommend that. And when you have questions on details, you can look at the index. You can look at the index right here to find what your question is and see the page number, and you can, you know, get right to what you need to know. So artwork is great. I love, that's my favorite piece of art in the whole game, is that alien kind of landscape with this alien creature right here. It's just very, very interesting to me. So there's the introduction page, welcome, the component list, the setup, and I will be doing a setup video for y'all so you can see exactly how to set up the game on video. That's the setup. This are the maps. So there's different maps for a 2-player, 3-player, 4-player, and a 5-player setup. If you have the deluxe game, you can play with up to 5 players. The base game can play with up to 4 players. And then it starts getting into the rules, the age sequence, step by step, what do you do in an age, the available actions that you have, the objectives, a turn example. So we have some examples. You know, in Silver River, you pick a type of resource to spend, and you can do as many actions as you want, as long as you spend that one type of resource. So this is an example of us, you know, spending civilization resource, for example, to do things. Over here is a political example and a military example as well. Special rules, some of the special tiles, the trade station, wonder rules, the combat rules, including player versus player combat and monster combat, both solo or cooperative, and then some end of game variants and the credits, and of course the index. And then we have standard solo rules in the same rule book, and the Monster Slayer solo game as well, which is like a push your luck dice game. That's also included, that we got as a stretch goal. So that's the rule book. So far, so good. All right, here's the punch board. So these are the trade stations, the different colors. So that's the trade stations. I'll punch one to see it. It's fine. The spaceships. So there's the fleet tokens. So the fleet tokens have your fleet on one side and a number from 1 to 4 on the back. So these are absolutely fine as well. There's the yellow one. Very good. So the domestic investment board, much bigger now. It's foldable because we had to make it bigger. So we have a score track here around the edge to score your points. We have an age tracker up here. You can put a cube to track each age. And then each of the 4 domestic investment tracks are here as well. And then the rules for how many victory points you score based on domestic investment is included right on the board. So it looks really good. It's much cleaner and better than my graphic design for sure. So very happy with that. That looks very good. We will look at the player boards. So this is kind of new that you haven't seen on a player board. I haven't even seen it because we haven't printed them this way. So each race has a history, explanation, backstory that has been written by our creative writer, Jesse. So every single race you can read. This is not important for gameplay, but it's, very interesting to know about that particular race, where they come from, etc. And then the player board is on the other side. So it has the portrait, the special ability of that race, areas where you place your Explorer tokens, Wonder tokens, victory point tips, and then, it has actual actions that you can take. Every one of these so it's a player aid as well as your player board. And then the phases are down in the bottom there. So we've got all these player boards. And I'm going to put those there. We're going to come back to those. The production boards have been updated as well with this carryover section. So at the end of an age, if you have production left, you move it down here. That means you can use it the next age, but you can't move it during the governing phase. So that's why we added that. And it's just double-sided. In case you get a mark on one side, you still got the other side you can use. So that's the production boards. More player boards. I think this is just a divider. Okay. See what else we got here. All right, we got the technology boards are fine. So we've got upgraded here. It has the reconfigure text there, military on the bottom, civilization on the top. That's why you have the red line and the green line, just as a visual indicator. I think these are double-sided as well, correct? Same thing on front and back. So that's the technology boards. Homeworld tiles. So homeworld tiles, each race has their own icon. Here's the grays. So you'll see there's a yellow border around homeworld tiles, so you can easily identify them by the edge, not have to actually find the icon. And in the back are uninhabitable planets. So you use the back side of tiles for races you are not using in a game and some of the map setups. So that's why that's there. So there's our eight planet tiles, homeworlds, Arcturians, humans, insectoids, and Martians. This is our player screens. So you've got 4 of these in the base game. An extra one will come in the deluxe edition. So this is just, they fold right there, and you just put them there to cover your production board when you're doing your governing. So you got your player screens. Now here is the board. Now obviously they didn't cut it. It looks like they did not cut the board. So I don't know why they wouldn't do that. I kind of wanted to see how it fit. So this is the board, and you know, I really wanted them to have it cut. It's going to be die cut here where this white space is, but they did not do that. So the home roll tiles will fit right into that spot. But this whole outline where you see white is going to be cut out, and will still fold the way it's folding. So that's the board. So for some reason they did not cut it. Well, it's playable and the colors look good. Looks like it got a little scratched here too, unfortunately. But that is clearly a mock-up board, not the final one. All right, and here are the recessed fleet trackers. So they look very good. And I want to show you how it works with your race. So these can go right on top of your player board. So, you know, once you know all the actions, and it only takes a game or two, you'll know them all, then you can just put this right on top and it will save you space. So there's the fleet trackers, and they're recessed so the cubes won't slide around. They'll stay put. So for those monster ability cards, there's the monster abilities. First player token, pretty simple. Technology cards. So the technology cards now have this nice green or red line to show you, is it military or civilization technology? It says it on the back of the card, but those visual indicators are very helpful. So these are the tech cards. There's a set for 4 players, and you'll get an extra set in the deluxe edition to make it 5 players. These are the wooden wonders. So we've got the pleasure domes and the orbital shipyards and the different color racial wonders as well. And then the cubes. There's the red ones. So these are the translucent red ones, translucent blue, the opaque yellow, and the opaque green. And then the expansion will have the white. The tactics cards. All right, so there we have our tactics deck. Looks pretty good. And it does have the updated text on it. I just was looking for that. So the tactics are good. The Explore deck here. This is the base Explore deck, and then there's a whole nother Explore deck if you got the Industrial Outposts add-on. That's a whole nother deck. The side quests have the yellow title cards. Title cards. 3 titles you can win the game through politics: Trade Leader, Galactic Leader, and Spy Master. Looks like the cuts are not the best on these. I'm going to ask about that. I'm not sure this is the final stock that they're using, so I need to ask some questions about that. The monster cards. This looks pretty good. So the backs of them, the different dots shows the level of the monster, so you can see it without having to, you know, see the title in the middle. So it's the monster cards. And the objectives. We'll look at the personal objectives. So every player is going to get 10 of these at the start of the game, and you're going to pick 5. But it's always good to be able to play the game you want to play. based on the things you enjoy. That's one thing about the Silver River we very much like. Then the public objectives. So there's 6 of these. You will randomly pick 3 for a game, and any player can complete these objectives one time during the game for victory points. We got our monsters. Let's see if that E-Crub is better. Nope, he's way bent. They did send me an upgraded E-Crub though, so I'm going to look at him. He's got to be fixed. These still look good. Looks good. Garlax is still very good. So they marked this one, that's the PVC. It shows how he's bent, so clearly that's got to be corrected. And they did send one, hopefully it's in the other box, we'll look at it. They didn't send me enough dice, they only sent me 1 die to verify. I kind of wanted a whole game, so not sure why they didn't send me everything, because I had to pay a lot for this, so I'm going to talk to them about that. The stars, they sent me enough stars, which is good. They did send me enough quest tokens, which is good. So I got all that. All right, let me get this other deluxe components in this other box, and hopefully we can put together a whole game from everything. We'll see. All right, so open this up. See what we got. All right, so here's the new sample of something I really need to see, the new E-Crub with the upgraded, harder plastic. Yeah, let's see. Yep, and he's much better. So it's a different color, but yeah, I think you can do any color. But you'll see he's not bent. So that's what we want, is that. We want this one, not this one, right? All right, so that's good to know. Here's our box. I assume this is the Star Dragon. So if you have backed for the Star Dragon, you are going to get, wow, this is really hard to open. Let me see, there we go. You're going to get a white box with a Star Dragon inside. Very good, and you will get 5 more cards. Again, the cut on these cards isn't great, so I'm really going to ask them about that. I don't know how I don't know if the card stock, because honestly, the card stock feels thinner than what I'm paying for, so I want to check with them on the card stock to see if that's final, and if it's not, why they're not using the stock that, you know, part of this verification is I wanted to really verify everything material-wise as well. So I'm going to talk to them about that. They told me the tuck box is not final. As you can see, that cannot be final. They just put that together. They did tell me that. So here's the whole second Explore deck, the Industrial Outposts deck. And we've got more punch board. There's the extra player screen. And we got components for the 5th player in here. They taped it or something. I don't know. There we go. All right, so there's more wonders. There's the extra player board. There's the extra stars. Here are the ship tokens. So it looks like they did send it looks like enough ship tokens in here. And there's not enough dice. So I gotta check with them. There's the extra technology cards. Cubes for a 5th player. Another set of objectives. You will get a sticker for the deluxe edition that can go on the front of the box. The extra races, of course, and player board. So you get the cyborgs and the white lions in this. And you get an extra player board, of course. There's the extra home tiles and planet. And here is the extra punch out here for the ships, cardboard ships. Although you don't need the cardboard when you get the deluxe edition because you have the plastic, but you still get them. And then we have a sticker sheet. So the sticker sheet, I'm going to do this, goes on the back of the plastic fleet tokens. So that's it. I'm going to put this all together and see what I have missing. And I'm going to get back with the factory. I do have some questions for them on the card stock. You know, I know sometimes the card stock expands, and when it's brand new, it feels thinner, but, you know, I'm paying for black core 310 GSM weight card stock, so I want to verify that. I want to verify the cuts on some of these cards. These ones look okay, but it look like the tarot cards. I'm thinking maybe they don't, you know, I'm thinking, you know, I want to know about why we have lines there, especially if it's black core. I shouldn't see white there. So I've got questions on that. And then they didn't send me enough dice. Now this is good news. eCrub looks good. All right, so I'm going to go through this all, and I'm going to do a video on how to set the game up once I have all this organized. And I will post that for you as well. But that is our mock-up copy from the factory on the Silver River. And as you can see, it's a pretty big game. So I'm going to get it together. And thanks for watching. I'll let you know if there's any significant issues with these after I speak with the factory on, you know, some of the items I've mentioned. And I will do a setup video for you this week. And also on Wednesday, we're going to be doing a full playthrough of the game, and I will live stream that. So I'll let you know that ahead of time as well. All right, thanks everybody.